Weirdos, I'm Felicia and I like scary movies, and today we are talking about a movie called Wounds. It came out this year. I watched it on Hulu. It was released on Hulu here in America, and in the UK and I think other international spots it is on Netflix. So you should be able to watch it wherever you are. I'm pretty sure it is written and directed by Babak Anvari, who is a British Iranian filmmaker. This is his first English language film, I'm pretty sure his second feature. And I heard about it because someone mentioned it on the Shockwaves podcast, and whenever they recommend something I tend to want to watch it because I love that podcast. This was also based on a novella called The Visible Filth by Nathan Ballan. Oh God. When you just can't read your own handwriting. Nathan Ballangrud, I'm pretty sure is how you say it. Our main cast of characters, we have Will, played by Armie Hammer, who you will know from Call Me By Your Name. We have Dakota Johnson, who you'll of course know from the 50 Shades of Grey franchise, but she plays his girlfriend, Carrie. We have Zazie Beetz, who plays a character named Alicia. So Will is a bartender at this place called Rosie's, and it's very much a bar where everyone knows each other. And one night while he's bartending, a group of teenagers come in, or, you know, not teenagers, but they're definitely under 21. They come in, he serves them alcohol, and a big bar fight breaks out, and one of them leaves their phone behind. So Will takes the phone home with him. He does a little maneuver to unlock it, which I actually thought was really smart. And he finds some strange things on the phone, and that sort of kicks off the film. This is a psychological thriller and has some great things about it. One, I felt very invested in the story the whole time. There was a lot of mystery built in, a lot of like not knowing why certain things were happening. The characters I thought were pretty good. I felt emotionally connected to them. Even though Will is playing a pretty unlikable character, which also reminds me of what I just reviewed, Little Monsters. You have this like male character that's just kind of a jerk. And even though Will sort of is like the jerk, how do I say this? Like the jerk framed as a nice guy. I don't know if that makes sense. But even so, Armie Hammer is a great actor, and I felt like I was really following his journey throughout this movie, and it was pretty scary. There's a lot of really weird stuff that happens, and particularly a lot of stuff with bugs, and bugs always freak me out, and this month I feel like I'm reviewing a couple of movies that are just a lot about bugs. Also, if my lipstick doesn't look perfect, it was really, really difficult to apply, so leave me alone. Also, this movie was shot in New Orleans, and you do get a bit of New Orleans vibe throughout the film. Not a ton, but just sort of when he's walking around downtown and things like that. And that I did like as well, so I sort of like the atmosphere. I like some of the characters. I like the mystery. But this is my problem, and this is sort of the opposite of what I normally say, and where I feel like they actually explained too little to me. A lot of times in these sort of psychological thrillers where there's a lot of like strange things going on, and is this person crazy, or is there really an entity, or like what's going on? And this one, I felt like they really didn't explain enough. So I'm gonna try not to give away any spoilers here, but there are some dark and spooky things on this cell phone that start to infiltrate Will's life. There is also some different imagery that keeps going up. The bugs, like I mentioned. There's also this imagery of a tunnel, like a sort of hypnotizing tunnel that comes up a couple of times. And though you do see some like red books, that it's like, oh, whatever is going on came from these red books. And we have Dakota Johnson's character sort of playing detective a lot more than Will's character is. Will is sort of, you know, sort of trying to avoid all problems, and Carrie, his girlfriend, is really trying to deep dive in and figure out what's going on. And we really don't figure out much. And And typically, I like that. It's so strange why I don't like that in this movie. But I just felt like not enough was explained to me. The imagery for me that sort of kept coming up together, and even other imagery of like, is that a ghost? Is that a this? Is that a that? Like, it never came together for me to understand what the overall meaning of it all was, I guess, is my problem. And so it's like you have a lot of imagery that is like kind of spooky, and would definitely freak me out if it was happening to me, but it didn't come together at the end in a way that I thought was meaningful. And even though like the last bit of the movie, and particularly the last shot for me is well done and cool looking and fun, it just didn't have enough meaning to me at the end of the movie. And I will say, throughout the movie, the fact that a lot of the characters are pretty unlikable is not helping the movie. Sometimes the movie can overcome that, or there was like a reasoning behind it, or the character goes through some big personal change or something going on. But a lot of people in the movie they're sort of a jerk to begin with, they end the movie as sort of a jerk too. They don't really go through any personal growth. Not only Will, but some of the other characters too. And there's also a lot of like smaller storylines into Will's personal life that are sort of going on, that are distractions from this entity that's trying to kill him. But it's like none of it plays out, none of it works together. And I realize I am sounding like I did not like this movie. I actually enjoyed watching this movie. I thought there was cool things about it for sure. I don't think it's a bad movie. I would say it's worth watching. There's some cool stuff in it, particularly if you're scared of bugs or tunnels. But for me, I wanted more. I wanted more payoff at the end of the movie. And I think that was my biggest problem with it, I would say. But if you're interested in watching it, like I said, it's on Hulu in America and it's on Netflix everywhere else. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this movie. Sorry this is a very short review, but I checked it out and I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I think it's sort of a movie that's worth watching, but definitely has a lot of problems as well. And those movies are always interesting for me to talk about. So I think that's it for today, people. I will see you in my next video and have a nice scream. Bye.